mentioned that it's a meta property. Out of the list of many ways to answer that question, how would you help people to think about that?
Yeah, the first most serious answer comes from the School of Austrian Economics, and it defines money as a universal medium of exchange. So this would be any good that is held and used purely for purposes of facilitating exchange. So in the configuration of demand for any particular asset, it's bifurcated between its utility, which is a service that it can render to you in real time, whether it's, if it's water, you're thirsty. That's the utility of water, is that it can quench your thirst. Whereas the marketability would be the expectation of future exchange, that other people would want this asset in the future to trade it for whatever they may have. Money is just going to be the good in any trading economy that has the highest proportion of marketability relative to utility. So today, that would be gold. Gold has utility. It's used in electronics, it's used in dentistry and whatnot, but it's largely used as a store of value across time. And that's what it's been used for 5,000 years. So if we say gold has a $10 trillion market cap, maybe 2 trillion of that is its utility value, or it's actually demand for use in computers and dentistry. And then 8 trillion of that is demand for its use as a store of value. Money, the marketability aspects of money boils down to 5 services that money can render. Money needs to be divisible, it needs to be durable, it needs to be recognizable, it needs to be portable, and it needs to be scarce. So I'll gloss over a lot of history with this and just say that historically, money's always been a technology, still is a technology or a tool. I use these terms interchangeably, and you think of a technology as just a more sophisticated tool, effectively.
Mm-hmm.
To best satisfy those properties, monetary metals were determined to be the most satisfactory tool, the most divisible, most durable, most recognizable, most portable tool in the marketplace. Of the monetary metals, gold was the most scarce, as quantified by either its stock to flow ratio or its inflation resistance. So a simple way to say this is that people always prefer the money most resistant to inflation.
That's a nice definition of scarcity in the context of money is, if you were to measure it, the resistance to inflation. So how hard is it to artificially increase the supply of the thing?
That is the hardness of money. And that's why gold is hard money.
Because alchemy is hard.
That's right. Because no one cracked alchemy, so gold became money.
So, that's such a nice, clean explanation of what is money, with the 5 elements, and gold ultimately won out because of the last piece of scarcity.
That's right. And to get to maybe dig a little deeper there. So scarcity, we commonly think of scarcity as strictly a supply property, where if there's not much of something, then it's scarce. But it's not actually true. Scarcity occurs when demand exceeds supply. So when there's more demand than the supply can justify, the thing becomes an economic good, and it establishes itself a market price. So there's more demand for the thing than the supply can satisfy. The unique thing about money, as a concept at least, is that demand always exceeds supply.
Mm-hmm.
There's never enough money to satisfy everyone, right? Because another definition for money, it's the most marketable good. So it can be traded for any other good, service, piece of knowledge in the marketplace.
Mm-hmm.
So humans being what we are, we're never satisfied, right? We always want more of something, whatever it may be. So money as the ultimate token of obtaining that something is always scarce as a concept. But the problem with money is that if you can, as you alluded to, easily increase its supply, then all of a sudden you can compromise the scarcity of it over time, and you can rob people through inflation.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why the market settled on gold as money.